So let us move to the reconciliation Excel sheet which we had, and where we have already populated the income statement. So I'll just keep this sheet and call this as before adjustment, and I'll create a copy of this and I'll call this as after adjustments, and I'll remove all these numbers and we'll try to build the division of recurring and non-recurring here. Now since in this PDF we have only information for the 2 years, I'll just discuss only these 2 years for the time being, and will not discuss 2010 as such. Now coming to the PDF that we had, let's closely observe the gross profit number. The gross profit number earlier was 9932. Let us double check before adjustment. The gross profit number was 9932 in 2012, but after adjustment this number comes out to be 9963. So I will do some reverse engineering here. One is I'll take the net sales for 2012, and I've been already provided the gross profit which is 9963 here. So I'll just copy this number and put it here, and I'll format this in blue because I have directly taken this number, and what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to back calculate the cost of sales, so that this cost of sales has been adjusted for the non-recurring items. So the cost of sales is 7122 here. Let me do the same thing for 2011 as well. So $16,734 million. What is the gross profit? Gross profit is 9634. So the cost of sales would be 7100. So I'll just do the color coding as well. So we have the gross profit. So this is the cost of sales, doesn't contain any non-recurring charges. Now coming to selling, general and administrative expenses, let's scroll down and again note that the non-GAAP measure which is provided is 5910, and this has been adjusted for the restructuring and the business realignment costs. So 5910 is after removing these one-time charges. So I'll just copy this 5910 for 2012 and 5748 for 2011. Let's move further and see what about the other income and expenses, because that's the next line. Other income and expenses, it actually started from 113, but adjusting for other set of items it comes out to be 30 here. So for 2012 it is 30, and for 2011 it is 28. So what do we have in terms of our recurring EBIT, because we have actually removed all the elements of non-recurring items. So this is gross profit less this SG&A less the other expense. So it comes out to be 4023 and 3858 in the case of 2011. Depreciation and amortization charges, which we already have, 421 and 425 respectively. Let's copy and paste these. The EBITDA would be the recurring EBIT plus the depreciation and amortization. Okay. Interest expense, we note that the interest expense is $52 million and $15 million for 2011 and 2012. So I'll copy and paste this directly. So what we get here is the income before income taxes, which we also call that as EBT, earnings before taxes. This is equal to EBIT minus the interest expense. So this comes out to be 3806 and 4008 in the case of 2012. Now before proceeding further, I'll actually insert two more lines here. And if you remember from our discussion earlier about the income statement format, below the earnings before taxes, which were recurring earnings before taxes, there was a line called unusual or infrequent items. Here we will consolidate all our non-recurring items and keep it as one entity. So I'm just doing it for the sake of convenience, so that we know that this were the total amount of non-recurring items which was included here above this EBT. So what is the total amount of unusual or infrequent items? Let's go back to the PDF that we had. The total amount that was deducted was basically the sum total of these items which were given in the operating profit. 2012 restructuring charges of 89, 24 related to the sale of land, and 21 related to the business realignment when we were discussing 2012. So let me just quickly adjust it. 89 plus 24 plus 21. So the total of 134 was the non-recurring charges which were included above. And what about 2012? A total of, this is equal to 13 plus 190 minus 207 plus 21. So this is the total amount of non-recurring charges which were included. So we will call another EBT which includes the non-recurring charges, and the formula should be very simple here. This is earnings before taxes, which was in the core earnings or the recurring earnings, and removing the unusual or infrequent items related costs. Deducting that, what we have is $3,789 million and $3,874 million for 2012. Coming to the provisions for the taxes, we already built this. So let's copy and paste this. So the net income would be EBT, that includes the non-recurring charges less the provision for taxes, and it comes out to be $2,631 million. So let us check this if it is correct or not. It is 2554 and 2554, 2631 and 2631 after reconciliation.